God's name is going on in here?
Episode 71. Back at it. Headquarters, man. Headquarters. 52 headquarters. Yeah. Back at it, dude. I forgot, I lost my train of thought. Sorry about that.
We're in the 70s.
It's 71, man. 71.
Bring the bell bottoms.
Pop them out, dude. That golden age, that solid gold.
Free love.
Yeah, 71. I think Angel told me something about dysentery. No, Oregon Trail came out. Who else was 71? Would you say, Angel? Who else? I forgot what you got. Who else? You mentioned a lot of fucking people.
Sting was one of them.
Sting? Hey, do you know Sting could
look it up again.
Sting.
What about 71 with Sting?
His age?
Oh, he's 71.
Yeah, he's
I was
70
going to say he wasn't born in
No,
71, was he?
I
Okay,
wish.
he's 71.
He was. I remember him. I remember him from music, of course, but I remember when he had. He put out some memoirs and said he did tantric sex and he could have an orgasm for like 5 hours or something like that. When he would cut loose, he could cut loose for about 5 hours of.
That's where he got that nickname.
Yeah, stings the nostrils. Yeah, man. He was. That's what he was known for. Like, I think it's tantric sex. I think is what it was. But
5 hours.
Good. Oh, Marky Mark. Yeah, man. Marky Mark, 71. Yeah, it was a lot of cool shit, man. A lot of cool 71s. I love the 70s. That was kind of my shit, man. That's when I started. I was born in 76, but when I was born and kind of growing up in the 80s, I looked back at the 70s to see what was going on, what I missed. But that's good times, man. The 70s were good.
Another one was Michael Keaton.
Oh, yeah, Michael, Batman, yeah.
Steven Seagal.
Oh, shit, dude. Seagal, man.
Dan Aykroyd.
Dan Aykroyd? Yeah. Dan Aykroyd's a nut job, dude.
I'm going to do that Seagal takedown move on you.
The 2 fingers. Huh? Oh, he's a nut job, dude. But he's a nut job. But he wrote Ghostbusters. I mean, he was Ghostbusters. That was his thing, man. But yeah, anyway, so all that to say, it's our back to school episode. Kids are going back to school. Thank God, I guess. Some parents are saying thank God. Get them some bitches out of the house. Back to school episode. So we're gonna have some fun picks for y'all later, and then we'll get Johnny to do it too. We haven't had a chance to get a hold of him, but we're gonna get Johnny to do our first day of school pictures with the backpack there. But it's gonna be fun. We'll add those in the after what you call it, post there. But yeah, back to school episode. I love going back to school. I mean, we talked about this before off air before. We were talking about getting excited about back to school, putting your outfit out, putting your new shoes out there and shit, the whole nine. Man, that was my favorite thing, man. Couldn't sleep. Anticipation of going back to school, seeing if that crush she had from last year, she's still there, and if she still looks good, and she ain't hideous. She made it through the summer all right, and didn't
Put too
many miles on her. Yeah. But
went to the wrong side of town.
didn't come back. Yeah.
I would just look forward to school shopping.
Oh, dude, I used to love it, man. I used to love it. Back in when I was younger, I got the hand-me-downs, but when I got to middle school, I started buying my own shit, dude.
That's where it's at, man.
Yeah, I bought my own, got my own job, worked at a gas station, and saved my money up and bought my school clothes, man. I got the cool shit, man.
What do you think? 7th, 8th grade, and 9th grade is when you're just like, you have to be on point.
Oh, you have to be, man. I had to have British Knights in all the colors. They had British Knights, and they had them all like green, black and white, gray. I had them all, dude. I had all the black. I even had these cool British Knights they used to call the Black Top series, where the sole was like had more grip on it and shit. I used to love fucking British Knights. Those are the shit, man. And Filas.
Reebok pumps.
Yeah, pumps were the shit, dude. The Filas with the strap. Yeah, man, I used to love all that shit, man. But back to school, man, there's so much shit going on right now. There's so many things on streaming. I know Johnny streaming now, right?
I'm
Caught up.
Elon came through. I have my Starlink now,
yeah,
so
made it. We made it, dude.
I have to say the streaming deal's tough.
A lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, man. You gotta.
I spend 45 minutes to an hour overwhelmed with my choices of what to watch. I can't choose anything.
Would you end up on?
I watched last night. I watched Ford versus Ferrari.
Okay. Yeah,
found that for free.
Good movie.
I'm looking for the bargains, by the way. And so
anything for
because now I have to. You don't just get high speed internet; you have to pay for it.
Oh, it's not cheap, dude. Especially when Elon.
Especially when you're out in the sticks. So with Elon involved. So I did that, and then I found a channel that has chips. So I went back to the 70s. I went back to the 70s,
dude. 70s,
and started at season 1, watching Frank Poncherello do.
Oh, dude, he still has that hair.
Oh, dude, he's got a head of hair, man.
He still looks the same. But I like Chips. It's a funny show, and what's really funny, and I know you guys do this. We've even talked about this. You go back and watch these shows, They couldn't do that show now.
No.
Because he was a cop that used his badge to pick up chicks in every episode, in a different one in every episode. So I mean that would that would get blasted right now.
He's a chauvinist pig, man. He'd be a chauvinist pig, man. Yeah. But that's how. That was the point of the badge, man. Use that badge, get some action. You always hear about those cops, man. You always hear about those cops. Like this was back in the I think 90s. Those cops got in trouble where they were like pull women over, and then they would end up getting something out of it and let the chick go and stuff. But that's when things were more relaxed, working out, working for trade, trade and shit. But
it's funny. It's funny. I like to watch those old shows.
Yeah, me too.
Not just because they're entertaining.
Yeah.
You're revisiting something you've seen before, but the times changed. That show didn't.
Yeah,
it was funny. I like it.
I think
one of the things, and you'll get this, Vinnie, is as a kid I watched it, and they're riding down the road having a conversation with each other.
Yeah, yeah.
As a motorcycle rider, it does not happen.
That does not happen.
But it doesn't.
You got to read lips. What? Pull over.
You want to kick my ass? Oh, I need gas. All right.
No, man, that's good. No, Chips is good, man. I like that shit. I like I always I like these shows because the footage, the way it looks, not going back, it's got that nice, vintage look to it that I just love that way it looks.
The other thing that's cool, they crashed a lot of cars in that show.
Yeah.
And the one thing that when a car crashed, it really crashed.
That was it. There's no CG. There's no AI. There's no AI.
Yeah, they really pushed it off the overpass.
Was it me or did they drop their bikes a lot? They always.
I've seen a few bike drops.
Yeah, it's early in the series. Dude. I always loved that.
The music was killer too.
Oh yeah, dude. The intro is the best intro ever, dude. It's just intense, man. It's just
a high school band needs to learn how to play that.
Yeah.
Knock it out on the trombone.
Yeah, dude. I'm glad you're with us now. You can catch up with us with all the shows and shit.
Hey, I'm trying.
Yeah, you'll make it though, man. Yeah. But it does take. And then we were talking about beforehand with Jennifer when we were saying, like, once you have it for about 6 months, you'll be like, dang, nothing on here. Ain't nothing to watch, man.
I'll just put the Dateline channel on.
Yeah, there ain't nothing to watch, man. Anyway, back to the thing, with streaming and everything, Elon, he's taking over, got the X, man. Now it's not Twitter no more, it's X. Oh. So it looks good, man. I like the headquarters. You've seen the big X on the headquarters, looks pretty cool, man. He got in trouble by San Francisco. I think he's gonna sue his ass because that X that's up there is really bright and shit. So they're probably gonna sue him for that. So he got to take that down, I'm sure.
I think he'll be okay.
He'll be fine. I think they won't hurt him. They won't hurt that wallet. But no, I've been watching a ton of shit, dude. Been a lot of stuff, man. I wanted to kind of tell y'all about, man. I've been excited to tell y'all about it, man. Maybe y'all can check it out too. I know I got Tessa Go she told me check this out, and it was really good. It's called 11 Minutes, right, Jennifer? It's called 11 Minutes, and it's about the Vegas shootings, man. The Jason Aldean thing and all the shootings in Vegas. Man, it was because the cool part about it is they showed it wasn't just talking about the shooting, just they picked out. It was how many victims? Like maybe 5 or 6 victims. But they were actually there. They got shot and shit, and it was just like their story. It was their story. They let them tell their story and shit, and it was really interesting, man. It's like 5 or 6 episodes, but it's really good.
Was the Vegas shooter? Was that a shooter on the ground, or was that someone up high?
Right, the Mandalay Bay.
Okay,
he was up there, 32nd floor or something like that. Dude, the creepy ass part about it, and how did nobody notice this shit? He bought the whole floor out except for 2 rooms. He bought that whole 32nd floor out except for 2 rooms.
Wow.
And the only reason why he didn't get 2 of the rooms because 2 of the rooms were occupied by, I believe, the road manager of Jason Aldean's road manager rented those 2 rooms out for his son and his nanny, so they could stay up there while they were doing the show and shit. So those 2 rooms were occupied by them, and then the rest of the floor was him, dude. He bought the whole thing.
Didn't he come in through like the front?
Yeah,
like the front with cases,
cases, bags and bags. They said, what was it, like a month before he was at this other festival he was gonna shoot up, but he didn't feel right and he didn't do it. But it was another festival about a month before that one in Vegas, and he was at this. It was a different hotel, and then they showed photos of that festival that he was going to shoot up. And man, you should have seen. It was like a massive body of people. I mean, more than the Jason Aldean concert. I mean, it was like a massive amount of people there around a pool and shit. But he was going to shoot them up, but it kind of fell apart. He kind of lost his nerve.
Does it talk about like his motive, like why he left?
He did. Did he leave a note? He didn't leave anything. No, he didn't leave anything.
No, it sounds like a. I just want to go down in history.
Yeah.
I just want to be
They on that special. They wouldn't say
right.
anything. That was
And
good.
because
that was good.
because that's
Yeah.
probably the reason that he did it, right? Because he wanted to go down in history as so. It was he well-to-do type guy. I mean, it sounds like he's spending.
He was in
money
Vegas a
on
lot.
this.
He was in Vegas a lot, and he was a big gambler. He was known in there for spending money, and he had I think Billy he had an Asian girlfriend, and he was trying to get her to come there with him, but she was like, "Nah, I'm not." She didn't, so she wasn't involved in it. They were trying to get information on her. She goes, "But I didn't know shit what he was doing. I know they didn't." He didn't
For him to
yeah.
buy up all the rooms on one whole floor, you have to have some paper.
Oh, he had money.
I could probably do that at the Golden Nugget, but
I could do that. I could do right here at the Motel 6. I can buy a couple rooms.
I could buy the corner.
I can get a corner. Yeah, I get the highway scene, the highway view. But no, dude, check it out if you have time. It's on what was it on Paramount Plus? I think it's Paramount Plus. 11 minutes. It's called 11 minutes, and Jason Aldean goes on there, and he said he was really spooked, man, because he was singing, and he had the earbud things in, and he's like, I heard popping. But he goes, I thought it was like the amp or some shit like that. So I looked at my guitar guy, and the bassist, lead guitar, was looking at him in his eyes, and he was just like frozen, like that's what he was giving him face, like that's what what it is. It's a gunshots and shots. And he said that later after they were left the stage, that that guitarist, his guitar had a bullet where the bullet ricocheted and hit like right in his hand. Like, it was close, like because he was trying to shoot the star, all day. He was trying to shoot everybody, but he was trying to get them too. He was shooting at everybody, but he was making a point to shoot at them as well, Aldean and shit. But
wow.
But it was really sad, man. It was just showing like, when people got shot, people were just running. People didn't know where to go, and people were just bleeding out and shit. And they said after the aftermath, like the next morning and shit, after it happened, there was like shoes and blood and pools of blood everywhere in the field and shit, and it was just like. Just clothes and everything out there, man. It was a shitty sight, man. But
so what happened to this guy? Off it? Did he off himself?
Yeah. He ate a bullet, man. He took his head off. They show the cop because what it is. It's really cool the way they did it. They show the point of view of the victims running and shit, and then also at the same time it's showing the cops as they're trying to figure out where the hell he's. Like they thought there was multiple shooters, but it was just him. But they thought there was because the way the bullets were hitting and shit. And when the cops finally saw where he was at up there on top of the Mandalay Bay up there, when they saw him. They started going around. When they started surrounding him, they got the lights on and shit. He sees them. He starts popping at them, and bullets. He said the cops were saying that the ground was just, there was just the concrete was blasting. He goes, and there's one cop. It was his first day on the job, first call. He goes down there. I'm down there for 15 minutes, dude. When the bullets ricochets up, gets me in the throat, almost gets me in the jugular, dude.
God,
he almost died. He almost died, man. But he made it, and they saved him. But he's like, my first fucking day, man. I was excited, but then he goes, and that happened to me. He's like, it just kind of scared me. But he goes, but they had some veterans around him that told me, it's, he's gonna live because he was scared he was gonna die. He couldn't breathe and shit, and it was crazy, man. It was intense. It was an intense show, man. I thought it was like, well, how much more could they be? I mean, how much could you talk about? But it was really extremely.
How long
intense.
is it?
Like about 4 or 5 episodes. 3 episodes, like 30-minute episodes, something like that.
Oh, okay. I was about to say,
but
like,
it's not long. Yeah, it's not long, but it does go into detail with the victims, and they were. It was so backed up. I forgot how they said it. It was backed up. The response was so slow because they didn't know where the shooters were. They thought there was multiple shooters, so the EMS people were slow to come. But when they did, they said 100. What was it? How many hit? So the emergency room, the lead surgeon at the emergency room said on a regular night they probably get 10 people in the emergency room. He goes, this night we had 200, almost 300 people come at one time. He goes, when we started the shift, the hallways were white and clean. He goes, at the end, they showed footage. All the hallways were covered in blood. The walls were covered in blood where people were just coming in, and people were just walking in off the street. They were shot, and they were just bleeding everywhere and shit. It was an intense show, dude. It's really good. Very informative how they took him, they didn't take him down, but how they tried to, and they found him, and they made their way up there. And it's cool how they the cops were strategic. The SWAT team, going up there, it was really cool, man. It's just cool to see behind the scenes how they handled this shit, man. It was fun. I mean, it was interesting to see. Not fun. It was interesting to see. It's just very. I didn't mean to say that. Informative is what I was trying to say.
Yeah,
but
don't run that on air. He's going to be investigated next week.
He'll be checking me out, man.
Sounds like a good idea.
Sounds like I'm gonna try it out, man. But no, 11 minutes. Check that out, man. And thanks Tessa for that recommendation, man. That was really good. I took my time to watch that one. That was good.
What the significance of 11 minutes was he firing for 11 minutes? Is that what it was?
Yep.
Yeah.
And they said
not that long. I mean, that's not
a lot of damage.
Not
Well, how
long.
many? I forget how many wounded and shit. I think there was.
In 2 ways that you think 11 minutes not that long,
No.
and then 11 minutes an eternity.
Yeah,
Especially
dude,
when
like when you're watching the clock.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be out of here in 10 minutes. That's the longest 10 fucking
longest-
minutes I've been here.
And
I'm
then
like,
imagine.
man.
And they said that he was just getting it, dude. Like he was pretty damn
I
accurate.
the more you talk about the story, now I remember.
Remember a
the-
little
now
bit?
I
Yeah.
remember a little more of the news.
2007,
stuff on
dude.
it.
2017.
Wow.
2017. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
2017. 58 killed, 500 hurt.
I bet a lot of injuries came from trampling.
Yeah, trampling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And
dude. A lot of that shit.
That's crazy.
A lot of-
I saw trampling firsthand. We were coming out of Astroworld.
Mm.
No, I was just about to say, like, you went to Astroworld?
I'm gonna date myself, man. I was at Astroworld coming out.
I'm
for,
talking about the Travis Scott thing.
No,
You're not talking about that.
this was on a fright night. Remember they used to
Oh,
have
yeah,
fright
yeah, man.
nights
Yeah,
a long time ago.
Hell yeah, dude.
And we're all walking out once it closed, kind of a sea of people just all
Mm-hmm.
walking in the same direction. You're shoulder to shoulder with different people, and
Yeah.
you're all moving. And two guys started an argument. One guy
Shit.
came up and snatched the guy's gold chain or something. Not like a random deal. It's like almost like they knew one another. Of course, I'm just adding what I thought was going on in the story, because they started arguing and then started to kind of physically go at each other moving down the hill.
Mhm.
And then, of course, what did the crowd do? We're following them, right? We want to see what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then they tie in together. The crowd gets close, and then pop.
Oh,
And then it's like the whole crowd goes
Away.
the other
Yeah.
way. And, guys laying on the ground.
Damn, dude.
But
This is before World Star, right?
Oh yeah, this is when.
But I mean, it just it shows you at that point when the fight was going on, the whole crowd was moving to
But
see.
I've seen videos like
And
that.
then the
to where
pop happens, and then
where
you know,
you go to the spot it's happening, and all of a sudden, like you said,
Yeah.
a pop, and then you see the
Yeah.
it's like a wave. It
Yeah.
goes in and then
Yeah.
it comes back out.
no, that was I'll never forget that. That was at that point in my life, I'd never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
That was
No, it's
pretty wild.
yeah. That's I can imagine for that, and imagine these people at this.
Yeah,
at this
I mean,
concert,
that
man,
was
like,
just
yeah.
that was
yeah,
nothing compared
yeah,
to
dude. No, it was.
what.
But you
that
gotta
would be.
watch it, dude. Check it out. You got 11 minutes to watch it. It's like I said, it's very it's spooky too, man. To see how people. It's also funny too that how people will help each other. Like you think we're pieces of shit. Like you think humanity's going to hell, but you see the glimpses where you see there's a little bit of hope. There's a little glimmer, man. There was an off-duty firefighter, and he was saving people left and right, man. He said.
I
He
really
just took his
believe that.
chances. Yeah, he took his chances, man. He's like, I could have been shot. He goes, but I'm a firefighter, and it's got things like it was like they have that oath too, like like if you're
First
a doctor,
responder, man.
or but you're like a nurse or a doctor, you have
Yeah.
to
That
you have to you have to
Hippocratic
help.
oath?
Yeah, you have to help. You can't. But it was cool to see him do that, man, and it was man, it was like I said, it just gave you a little
No,
hope.
You're onto something right there. I think unless you're a sociopath or whatever, I mean, and there are some, they're out there, but most people, when they see someone really in need,
Sure.
you want to help.
Oh yeah,
That Pops was Papa Zuko. He was EMT firefighter.
oh, that's cool, man.
And
Oh, shit.
like I raced BMX forever, and I remember a guy coming over a set of doubles, and he got clipped in the air, and his bars turned and
Oh.
literally got him in the gut, like in the stomach, and he didn't have bar ends,
Mm.
Oh shit, dude.
right?
It went through, huh?
Went through. So Pop saw that, like you said, first
Jumped into
thing,
action?
Jumped into action.
Shit,
It's
yeah,
just
man.
you know what I mean, like
But
he.
and those guys. Not that I don't want to help people. I'm not saying that. I'm thankful to first responders because I'm good to help when someone needs help, but when there's something like that or body parts cut off or something,
I'm
man,
out.
I'm just not your guy, man.
I get it.
No, yeah.
I wish I was better
Yeah.
at that. I just don't like seeing people really that injured. You
Yeah.
know?
Oh, I get
Yeah.
it, man. I get it.
And it, like I said, dude, but we need people like that.
Yeah.
We
No, I
need
do.
people like that.
No, it was, but to say, but back to that, it was cool to see people. It was funny because it was funny because I was kind of worried at first when the show started. I kind of got worried because there was a black gentleman on there, and I'm not disrespecting him in any way or being rude, but there was a black gentleman on there. And he's like, man, I'm into Jason Aldean. I love country music, but I was hesitant to go to this show because I know people don't, it's a country show, and I'm gonna be stick out like a sore thumb. And he was kind of hesitant to go, but he went. He goes, "Yeah, fuck it, you live once. I'm gonna go." He goes, "I went. I was the only black guy there. I'm pretty much the only black guy there, and I felt out of place." He goes, and then he goes, "It was at one point before the shooting started." He goes, "There was one guy that came up here. He goes, I didn't know you were kind of like this kind of music," and he's like, "It made me feel like shit." He goes, "And it kind of ruined my time for a little bit." He goes, "But then he thought about it. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna have a good time and ignore that." And then, but it seemed like he was gonna go into like disliking white people and stuff. I thought, because the way he gave a vibe off. But then, as the show went on and stuff, it showed that he was saving people. Like he saved a couple white girls. He came with white chicks. He saved them, and he got shot right in the throat, like right in the neck. He almost died too. He's saving people, but it was just cool to see. Like he had that negative thought, but when all that shit started happening, he's like, "I'm gonna save some people. I'm gonna. We're all people here. In the end, the color don't matter, dude. I'm gonna help people." So it was cool, man. It was a positive thing, man. It was good to see, man. I thought it was gonna be all negative because of the killing and the shooting, but
it's the same way as if you're old enough and lucky enough to remember after 9/11.
Oh, dude,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, after 9/11, there was. The next day, there was no color after that. Not that next day.
Yeah, dude, you're worried about what was going to happen next.
Yeah, everybody was, man, that was a time to experience.
It's funny you say that because everything I've been reading to, we talked about before we were bullshitting about the UFOs and aliens are real. Nobody gives a shit about the aliens being real. But I think, what was it? It was a thing I was looking at doing a deep dive. Vinnie's fault on YouTube. I was doing a deep dive, and it was Reagan saying, "We need aliens to come here. We need something like that big to have so we can bring us together to bring the people together.
A united, a common enemy. A common enemy.
So that's what they're saying was happening now. That's why it's like they're trying to something. And it's funny if I don't know if anybody ever listens to this, but
it did happen on. There's a documentary out there about it when it happened. It's called Independence Day. I don't know if you've seen that.
I've seen that. I think I've seen that.
It's a true story.
It's a good doc.
It's
a good doc, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was it's funny, you know how people say, all these people who are conspiracy theorists, they're nut jobs, but I listened to this one guy, Eddie Bravo. He used to be a fighter, a UFC fighter, and he was talking about, and he was saying the exact same thing about 5 years ago. He was saying that that the government wants something like this to happen, so we all have to come together, and then you have to comply. So they want something like this to happen.
He said this before COVID.
Before COVID and the alien shit. He goes, but because he was saying aliens are real and they're going to come down one day, and that's going to be the government's way to get us all to conform and to obey and be one nation, one kind of thing. Listen to one leader.
They're also they're like you said, a conspiracy theory.
Sure,
but that's what the next wave is.
Yeah,
that's why they're gearing us up for the next wave.
Yeah,
it's going to be alien.
Yeah,
aliens, man. I'm ready.
You don't think we went to the moon, but
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, okay.
Hey, they live on the other side of the moon, the dark side. That's where they live. They set up camp.
Perfect segue into what we're talking about. Back in the day when I used to drive truck, if you get the winning lottery numbers, you're gonna jump off the couch. You're gonna just scream and shout because you just got the lottery numbers, right?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so this was back in.
I think I would.
Shit, I can't remember how long ago was it, but I was in Fulshear, Texas. I was taking material out to the middle of fucking nowhere, and I don't know if you've ever driven through Fulshear, but it's just farm. Yeah, it's just like farm town, nothing out there.
I think I feel an abduction story.
No. Okay, so
probing.
No probing here.
No probes. No.
But dude, like for real, I was driving my truck, and it's a 2-lane road, and I'm looking up, and I was like, what the hell is that? It looked like what's the one they talk about, the cigar shape, like UFO? It looks like chrome.
Yeah.
Like you can't see shit. But I promise you, I put this on everything. Like it just right above me. Like just going past.
Wow.
And I look, you're looking like you're in a truck, and I'm like looking up like this, trying to see. I was like, that looks just weird. It looked like the cigar things that hold a cigar.
Yeah.
The container.
Yeah, the container. But chrome.
Dude.
And
but it wasn't lit up with lights.
No.
You just saw it in the darkness, kind of coming.
No,
up. Right?
this was during the day.
Oh,
it was,
in the
it was
daytime.
it was 10 a.m.
Oh,
it was
oh,
10
shit.
a.m. I promise you.
They usually don't come out at 10 a.m.
Yeah,
do they?
usually
It was about 10 a.m.
They do the dirty work at night.
and like so it took whatever was around. Like you could just see it.
Camouflaged, huh?
You know how you see those the
like-
tankers?
Yeah.
yeah.
Where you can
was-
see your reflection.
So
on
in
the
other
tanker?
words, it's almost hard to discern what it is because it's reflecting
Right.
back to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm looking like this, about 10 a.m. and like it's a 2-lane road. You know, cars are coming by, but there's hardly nobody. It's a fucking farm town, right?
Mhm.
So there's not a lot of traffic. Not a lot of traffic. I just blew it off, man. I just like, you know,
Yeah, it's
I was
normal.
like, I don't know.
See, Vinny was back in those days. He's like, man, maybe that was from last night.
and okay, so my ex-wife, she's in the. I watch the History Channel. I watch all
Sure.
the alien, you know,
Yeah.
alien
Ancient
stuff.
aliens.
Yeah,
Yeah,
ancient
ancient
aliens. I watch all that stuff, and I'm just on the couch. You know, she's in the kitchen, you know, cooking, getting dinner ready. And,
As she should. As she should.
And
Sandwiches. and-
Yeah. Oh yeah. The
like,
maker.
really, somebody else reported it.
Really?
Oh, no
Yeah,
shit.
because they talked about it on, you know,
Yeah.
on the TV
Nice,
or
dude.
on like the show that I was watching.
Yeah.
Bro, I jumped up off the couch. I was like, oh,
You could have been a star,
Hey,
dude. It could have been a star.
At that
man.
moment, you knew that you weren't crazy or seeing things.
Correct.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I was
yeah.
just like, I hopped up off the couch and like I ran in there. I was like, like, you know, she's like, what the hell's wrong with you? I was like, no, like I saw that.
That
I
could've
saw
been-
that. And but for them to document it, and it was one of the UFO shows that I was watching on History Channel.
So, you know, you said something about
Excuse me.
driving, and it made me think of seeing something while you're driving. So, you know, we used to go everywhere racing motorcycles and long trips, and I'd drive way past the time when I should be driving, all through the night, and get really sleepy. And I used to say all the time that I knew they weren't there,
Mhm.
but I would see wild hogs. I'd say, man, I'm getting tired. I'm starting to see wild hogs in the ditch, where you'd see these
Eyes.
black,
yeah.
black. To me, it looked like a wild hog, and it would sometimes look like it was going to dart into the road. And so I was just jokingly telling a friend those stories the other day, and he goes, "There's a thing that truck drivers say." He said, "You saw the black dog. Have you ever heard of this?"
Yep.
And
Mhm.
there's and so then I read and looked it up, and I actually thought that was just something unique, that when I got really tired, I would see these spots and these things move. But truck drivers call it seeing the black dog, and that there's been accidents where this 18-wheeler runs off the road, runs into somebody, and the driver will tell you that a black dog ran into the road, and that's why he swerved.
Yeah.
And while I was doing my little, I felt like Keith, I was doing a little deep dive on Black Dog. There's a movie called Black Dog
Fuck yeah, dude.
with Patrick Swayze,
Oh,
and
shit.
Really?
and he went to prison or something because he saw the black dog.
Oh shit.
And he
I
Really?
gotta watch that now. We gotta
Yeah.
watch
Yep.
that now. I need to go home and see that
I'm
shit.
gonna look
dude.
it up.
Man, see that? I'm so proud.
Hey,
I felt
made
like
it in
Keith
there.
for a second, man.
You made it in. Dude. Got them deep facts in there, dude. That's good. No, that's great. No, that's cool, dude. I didn't, and I know for a fact that Johnny does a lot of good driving because I slept a lot on the way to Illinois, so I slept a lot. So I know Johnny can drive.
Hey,
dude.
you know,
Johnny,
I didn't see any black dogs on that
No,
trip.
no, that was
because
cold as
I was
shit.
keeping it safe.
It's
man.
cold as hell too, man. So
And
yeah.
we were going too fast for the black dogs.
Woo. That was good times, man. That was fun. That's fun, man. Yeah, man. So I've been watching a lot of stuff. The 11 minutes was sad as shit, but I watched that. I also watched. I saw this thing come around. Ryan Reynolds, man, is bringing back. Well, he's not bringing back Alf, but he's gonna be doing some stuff with the Mint Mobile shit, and he's
Who?
kind of Alf. Yeah.
No,
Alf.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds, because he's got his
Oh,
own.
my
What's that
God.
channel called? Fuck, I can't
He got
remember.
his
the
own channel now too.
He really owns that phone
The
company.
Mint Mobile, or the
Okay.
Mint, whatever it's called. Yeah.
He's being smart with his money. I'm not
Yeah,
mad
no,
at the guy.
no.
Like, you know that
But-
celebrity only lasts so long, so you have to do other outlets.
Oh, sure. Yeah, and he's well, that son of a bitch is good looking and he can act, so he's gonna be all right.
I
but-
just see him as Van Wilder.
Yeah, I know. Or I see him as maximum effort channel is what he's on. And
His phone company sounds. I mean, it's interesting where he wants to do affordable phones, right?
yeah,
Basically,
there's nothing
that's
wrong
what
with that. Yeah,
yeah.
I like that. It's a good idea. Also, too, John, I was gonna tell you about this. I forget what it's called. You probably, I don't know if you would be interested in. I'm trying to get you to subscribe to a different a phone provider. What's it? He's trying to do a free plug over here. What's it?
Houston Cellular.
No. What's that? It's
We're starting back up.
I'll think of it. I lost it.
Primeco.
Primeco. Yeah, so I watched that, and then also too, another thing you need to check out, guys, if you're interested, because it's I'm like I said, I like watching. I'm not on this politics side, but I like watching this stuff. These shows like Tucker Carlson has his own show, and he had Ice Cube on there because Ice Cube was saying he had him on there because Ice Cube's being banned from all these other shows.
Yeah,
like,
dude, he's on his tour right now.
Yeah, they won't let him go on The View. They won't. He goes that Oprah banned him, won't have nothing to do with him. He said that they did the barbershop reunion, and he didn't get invited.
What do they not like about him?
Because he's free thinker now.
Yeah.
He's a free thinker.
He's like, I told you. They did to me. I told you.
Yeah. He's a free thinker now, and they don't want nothing to do with him. So he's on Tucker Carlson.
He's not fitting the mold.
No, he's disobeying. So yeah, he was on Tucker Carlson. Man, they were getting to some good points. Man, they were having that discussion you should have, that black and white discussion that they're having, but they're having, it was an honest conversation. But I think Cube's gonna get a lot of pushback on this because he was talking. They touched on the trans stuff and they touched on a lot of things, man. And I think eventually he's gonna be canceled, man. And unfortunately, that's too bad because he can't speak his mind. But I think he's gonna be canceled because some of the things he was saying were, like I said, I don't think there's nothing wrong with it, but I think the Hollywood's gonna not like what he's saying.
It's funny. It's funny if you're a nobody, no one wants to cancel you because you're just a nobody. Yeah. If you make it big enough, then you can say, I'm too big to cancel. I'm going to say what I'm going to say. But if you're in that middle ground, it's a dangerous spot, right?
I'm scared.
Because they can get blackballed straight out of Hollywood, right? And that whole entertainment industry just turn their back on them.
But it was interesting to see. It's just interesting to see this guy's like. It's weird they got nowhere to turn. So where do they go? They go to the conservative guy, Tucker Carlson, man. And it's just funny to see that but they had a lot in common. They had a lot of common ground, and he was just saying, I'm not gonna say anything, but I'm just gonna say this. I'm gonna say when you've had it's that thing. He used that old mantra. Was it dance with the one to bring you? He goes, when you're that person that you went with, which is like the side he used to be on, the Democrat side, he goes, they're not dancing with me no more. They want nothing to do with me, so I'm gonna do away with them. He goes, so I'm gonna do my own thing. He goes, I'm not saying I'm a conservative or Republican. He goes, but I'm a free thinker, and I'm gonna go where I see that I fit in.
So now he's sitting in the middle, looking at the oppressive side. Is actually, check it out.
Yeah. But check it. It's brand new. It just came out this week. It's Tucker Carlson and Ice Cube, man. It's really good. It's a good watch. I mean, it's not like I said. It's not even about the politics. It's just having an open conversation, man. And that needs to be had, man. It needs to be had more often, man, with people that don't see eye to eye, man. Because it's getting to the point where you can't even bring up certain subjects around people because certain folks because. You'll be called a son of a bitch, or you'll be called a bigot, or whatever the case may be, man. So it was good to see that. I was just saying it was good to see Tucker Carlson and Cube talking, man. It was cool. It's entertaining. It's good stuff. Good entertainment, man. Let's see. The UFOs, we don't, man, they're there. Nobody cares. Nobody.
Isn't that crazy, right?
Cares,
I mean,
dude.
So many people, even just in everyday conversation this last week, there were certain people I said, hey, did you hear about that? Not really. I heard something about it. Well,
weird, right?
Yeah, they had this testimony that supposedly we actually have biomatter or something in UFOs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured we did. I mean, that's kind of the everyone just.
But that's what they were working on, bro. They were just trying to gear us up for it.
Wait, why isn't everybody jumping up and down now going, hey, show it to us?
Nobody gives a
because
shit.
when it actually does go down, like you're like, oh, we knew that.
We knew that.
Hey, Mom, there's something in the back room. Hope it's not the creatures from above. Sorry, I had to do that.
No,
Tom DeLonge was right.
He was always right, dude.
He was always right.
Oh, yeah. Tom DeLonge, dude. Yeah. I when he did that, the Angels and Airwaves, I knew he was on a whole nother level of brain there. He was on a whole nother level there.
I want to see what these things are like. Are they massively athletic?
Oh,
are
yeah.
they just brain
Are
power?
they soft?
Are
You
they
know, squishy?
do they look like us? Are they like Alien, where they just come out like a monster and shapeshift and have tentacles? Do they speak a language?
No, but there's so many of them.
Are they male and female? Are they just all the same?
It's like Guardians of the Galaxy, bro. Like there's so many of them.
What's their spaceship run on?
Yeah, what's the kind of what are you on? Diesel,
Plutonium.
You're running diesel in there.
running that drag racing fuel and shit.
Yeah.
Dude, what do you got? What do you got there, man?
So many questions.
Octane.
The high octane shit.
Hey,
yeah.
so
Go ahead,
that brings a thing.
Go ahead.
If you had an alien in front of you,
Mhm.
what question would you ask him? You got one question. Vinny, it's your turn. Ask the alien a question.
I don't know, bro. It had to
See?
be. It had to be about the pyramids.
Why'd you do that?
So you think it's an
Why they
alien?
did
Yeah.
that? Why'd y'all do that?
So that tells me that you don't think this is the alien's first time here.
No.
He's an ancient alien.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to know if they can get me again. I'm gonna go back to it again. I want to see if that alien can give me that fucking oven that can make that pizza like on Back to the Future. That's all I want. That's all I want.
We
Give me that
have it.
oven.
It's air fryers now, man.
Yeah,
That's
they
alien
went-
technology.
I said, but you put that little pizza in there and it goes big.
Oh.
And that's what I want, man. But no, that's all. I would ask them, man. We're sex, like how they do sex, like what's sex, how they do that, how do you get off? Can you get yourself off? How does it work? That's what I would ask
There's
them.
something very important we need to know. Right now.
Sex. It's always sex, man. Sex sells.
You would come with the reproduction
Oh yeah,
aspect of
sex
it.
sells, dude.
Nah, I just want to know if you built that fucking pyramid right there. And what does
Yeah.
it do?
What's it for? Yeah, what's it for, man? And they all line up, right? They all line up. They
all of them.
all
All of
line
them.
up. Yeah.
Those are good questions.
Yeah, I think so. What would you
I
ask
don't
me?
know. I don't know. Like I said, I have so many questions.
What-
I had one question. I don't.
Streaming.
Hey, how do you pick what to
Stream.
watch, man? No, I think I would want to know. You gonna kill us?
We just use our resources.
What's the song? The Porno for Pyro said.
Yeah,
we'll
dude.
we'll make great pets.
I'll be good, man. I'll be a good boy, dude. I'll fucking fetch and everything, dude.
We'll make great pets.
I'd like to know if they listen to music or if they even have that.
That's true. Yeah,
That's true.
they might. Tom DeLonge might be their guy.
Hey, they may
man.
be
That
checking
might
our
their guy.
stuff out. We shot it out into space on Viking.
They may not want it. They might
See, I
want
went on a deep dive on Gilgamesh. You know who that is?
it.
He was one of the giants back in the day. He was pretty much a hybrid, is what he was. And then he went out to seek Noah.
Kind of like, is it like
Because
is it like
Noah-
Bible times? Like Bible before Bible times?
Yeah,
Old Testament.
he went out to seek Noah because Noah lived a lot longer. He wasn't just like because what was Noah's age?
Noah with the
Noah's Ark.
with
Two
the
at a
with the,
time.
with the two two.
So he lived to be like a lot older than a lot of than your
Okay.
basic human. So Gilgamesh had to seek him out because
I like
his friend,
950.
his friend
950.
didn't, he wanted to know the secret.
Okay,
How did you live till 950?
I wanted shit. Can you imagine 950? That's a long.
So
time.
yeah, there's a
Goddamn.
story of Gilgamesh. You can look it up, man. It's
Gilgamesh. I like that name.
really interesting.
I like that name.
Like
Right.
there's like in Iraq, there's like I guess carvings of this dude in the pyramids and whatever else they have. He's a giant. He's holding a
Big
freaking
giant.
lion.
Yeah.
Like he's holding a freaking lion. That's how big he was.
Yeah, that's a big ass cat.
That was a big cat.
That's a big puss. Yeah. Yeah, man. But yeah, dude, I got into some shit and also got to the dark side of the 2000s, and this was fun, dude. TRL. I saw a little thing on TRL. I never understood. It's a hell of a switch from fucking Aliens to TRL from MTV. Way down, brought it way down low, man.
He dropped us back in first gear, bro.
Had to throw in that Jake break, man. But TRL, man, it was a big part of my thing. I was in college when I guess I was in college, and I would make sure I'd make it. It was interesting how MTV revived itself with that thing in the 2000s, right? It was 97 or 99, I think it was 97, right? And 99. And they kind of revived themselves. That's when there was the pop thing. That's when Britney came out, Christina, all them came out. That's when we were talking about last week, Christina Aguilera and all
Dude,
them.
that goes back to what I was telling you. Did you watch it? The
TRL?
No, the Woodstock '99.
No, not yet. I haven't had
Oh,
September
God.
2009. And the reason why the TRL popped in my head is because you were talking about when you talked about 9/11. When the 9/11 happened, that was down the street from them when the whole attacks happened. But they went back on air because they did, and it was, I get it. They did it for that generation of kids. They're watching TV. They did it for them to kind of let them know things are going to be
Life
all
goes
right.
on.
Yeah,
Life goes on.
things are all right. Things are okay. But because that dude Carson Daly, man, he was, they found
He's a journalist now.
Yeah, he's a journalist now. Yeah, he's the thing. And the thing is, he was very relatable to the kids, and he made kids, at that time, those kids that were watching TV at the time, that generation, the teens and early 20s, they really were gravitated towards him, and they trusted him. So they said, MTV said, screw it, put the show on, let's do it, man. And it did good ratings because people were watching, people were tuning in because they wanted to know what was going on, and they told them not to. The MTV executive told them not to because they weren't sure if there was still shit going on, if there was still attacks going on, because nobody knew what was going on. Nobody knew exactly what was happening. If there was going to be more attacks or
what was
whatnot.
going to happen next.
Yeah, so that was. I thought that was a cool part. After watching it and talking about the pop people and all that shit. But that was when it hit like a serious note, and it was interesting to see that they said, yeah, you know what, let's take our chances. It's a risky move because like comedy was being careful. Late night shows were being careful not to be making not to make jokes and shit, or just kind of be straightforward. So nobody knew what to do. So they said, you know what, let's just, executives were like, yeah, let's do it, man. So it was cool to see that, even the kids, different generation, they were interested to see what was going on. They were curious, and just to let them know things are gonna be all right, man. So yeah, so the TRL's got a special. It's on the Dark 2000s, the Dark Side of the 2000s, right? It's on, what is that? Is that Paramount Plus too? Vice, yeah. Vice has got some cool shit, man.
Another one.
Vice, watch it, dude. Yeah,
I'm making notes.
Vice, dude. Check out that channel. It's a good channel, man.
Who runs Vice anyway? Because that dude, whoever runs Vice,
he's got some shows.
He's
man.
on some shit.
He's got some good shows on there, man.
Because I know they do the Dark Side of the Ring on Vice.
Yeah, and I've got that saved to watch that.
I've seen Cartel on Vice. I've seen, just like drugs on Vice. You know what I mean? Like, just this dude's like, is it a news outlet? What the fuck is it? Like, I don't know, dude. I don't know what the fuck Vice is.
Yeah, it's a Mac. Yeah, the Mac. And then, that's what I was gonna tell you guys. That's what I was gonna tell y'all. Another jump off ship, just to something random ass shit. I was watching the special on, or reading this thing about McDonald's, about their fries, and so their fries. The fries are
not real.
No, well, yeah, kind of. That's kind of along the lines of what it is. So their fries it's a specific potato they want, that McDonald's wants, but the potato they want can't have any kind of what do you call it, the bruises or those little eye things on there. They don't want none of that shit. They want a perfect potato.
Sprouts.
Yeah, perfect potato, perfect specimen. So the people who farm the potatoes for them have
Are they in Idaho?
No, I don't know, but the thing is, they put this chemical on there, and the pesticide, the chemical they put on it, they put the chemical on it, and for 6 days that farmer can't go near that stuff because it could kill them. The pesticide they put, the shit they put on it. So now we eat that shit. We're eating that potato.
So instead of, and they do this all for appearance, right?
Yeah,
is that
so it looks
basically
perfect.
what you're saying?
Yeah,
So it
pristine.
looks perfect.
Yeah.
That's true, 'cause you never get a
Nope.
crispy fry
You never
on
get
the
one.
But that's what it is.
They all look like they were cut from the middle of the potato,
Yep.
right?
And that's why they want it. So it's the chemical they put on there. Like I said, the farm puts it on there, and for 6 days he can't go out there because like I said, that the fumes off of it could kill him or kill them.
Gosh.
Nah, I'll stick to the Five Guys.
So yeah,
I see the sack of potatoes right there. Can I get these, please?
yeah, no shit. But
You know that McDonald's has, I don't know that they own this boat, but I watched the special on, there's this ship that, I guess it's North Atlantic, and it catches that cod or whatever that fish is. They catch the fish, they process the fish, and package the fish all on this boat. So this is a not only a fishing
That's
boat,
some fresh fish,
but a processing boat, and they turn it into patties on this boat. And if you eat a McDonald's McFish or whatever,
Filet-O-Fish.
it came from that boat.
oh shit, okay.
Really?
Like
Okay.
everyone comes from that boat.
no,
No,
don't ruin it. Don't
nothing
ruin it.
nasty. It's just
No, yeah, that's
flaky.
It's just that there's this one giant floating fish producing factory
That's
where
cool, man.
they catch the fish and process it and everything. They don't bring the fish back to the shore.
No,
to
that's
the
it's
processing
right there.
plant. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool
That
shit.
fish
dude.
is very flaky and
Yeah.
soft,
Yeah.
and
Waves.
Did you ever see the movie Founder?
Oh, with
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton. I haven't seen it.
Oh,
I've
dude.
been I keep meaning to watch it, and I keep freaking missing it.
Awesome.
There was another thing, and I put this story up. This is more for Johnny kind of thing. I know Johnny likes these kind of things, these stories. It's just the sad that I know. Last week we talked about San Francisco had the real first. What was it? They had their first, not the first, but
GTA?
the goddamn, what's it called? I can't. I'm like Grand Theft Auto moment where the car was stolen. They went over an edge, and the people ran out of the car. But to go back to revisit San Francisco, there's this store, Walgreens, I think it was in San Francisco, and these reporters from CNN wanted to do a story on this store because it's the most robbed store in San Francisco. It's like in the inner city. So they go down there, right? The two reporters are walking in the store. They said they're not in the store for fucking 5 minutes, and like 3 people walk out with shit. They just walk out and they look at the people with the clerk, and the clerk's like, we can't do nothing.
Oh, you mean not robbed with a gun?
No,
people
just
walk
take shit.
in and
so now
take stuff.
So now they said now even like the medicines, what is it like? Not even the make, but just like certain things are behind glass now, and you have to get the simplest things, deodorants, things like that, are behind glass. You got to ask the attendant to get you the shit out of the fucking thing. Even the fridges are tied up and locked down, and if you want some, you got to ask. But yeah, they said that those CNN reporters said they were there for maybe 10, 15 minutes, and man, they saw thievery and stealing and people just walking out with shit just like it's different. Their closet, like their own, fucking.
That wouldn't happen in a small town.
No, that's what Jason Aldean said. Not in my town.
Hey, I need some notebook paper. Y'all have? Yeah, it's back here behind the counter.
It's by the glass, man. By the glass, man. But I was watching that. And I was like, damn, man, I gotta show Johnny this shit. And it's sad, man. It's sad what San Francisco's going, man. It's sad where San Francisco's going,
That's
man.
crazy. That's sad.
It's a shame, man. It's a shame what because that was like, that was a prime. You wanted to live in San Francisco. That was,
it was cool back then.
Just because Golden State,
The best car chase ever happened in San Francisco.
Yep.
Fucking
Bullet.
Mm-hmm.
screeching tires and shit. Yeah.
He had that 47-speed transmission.
Yeah. There was no CGI there.
No AI, man. No AI. But I thought that would be. I wanted to tell you about that, man, because it's just crazy. Within seconds, man, they were just stealing shit. They had the cameras rolling.
So corporate is probably ready to just say,
nah, it's just a
write
write-off,
right?
Fuck it,
No. Why would you? It's a write-off.
Yeah.
Total write-off.
It's a shame, man. I love San
Just
Francisco.
let it continue.
At least it's not.
Corporate's not even visiting
It's not
that
dangerous
store.
to work there. Do they arm robbery? No.
No.
They just walk in and
just
do what
walk
they
in and
want.
walk
Corporate's
out,
not
man.
even visiting that store, man.
Nah,
like
hell
they're
no.
just like, oh, okay, write-off.
Another conspiracy theory. This is from Vinnie. Conspiracy theory. Did you hear about the chef that Obama and them chef got killed? He drowned.
Hey, what's the conspiracy on it? What's the conspiracy?
So if you check it out, man, there's new images of
He was about to talk.
there's new images of Obama with cuts on his hand and bandages, and he's got like a black eye. There's like footage, like photos.
Did his wife kicked his ass? Huh?
Well, they're saying that the people want to say that they killed that chef because he had some stuff on him. So he had some info on him. So that's why they took out that chef, man.
Wow.
So because he drowned.
I'll tell you what. Obama may have taken this chef out, okay, but he wouldn't take out that White House chef.
No.
You know the one I'm talking about?
Which one was it?
The White House chef that's jacked. Have y'all
shit.
seen pictures of
No,
him?
no. We're gonna have to look
Oh,
up.
when Jennifer gets back, she's gonna have to. Oh, you got to see pictures.
Shit!
Of this
Is that
guy.
the one they had then or now?
No, I think he's
now.
I think he's there now.
Okay.
I think he's been there for a while, but he's yeah.
But I'm saying, but it was because there was a
crazy.
conspiracy theory that's saying that they had him killed for some reason because
he drowned, right?
Yeah.
They say he did.
He was found. He was found in the water.
He was found in the water. He said he couldn't swim, and his wife said that. She said, I think the wife
he
said
was a professional
dude,
swimmer.
Yeah.
Swimming lessons.
Yeah, you're not gonna.
Oh, you can't drown that one. You won't drown that one. But it was a shame. It's sketchy, man. So it's a sketchy thing. I'm gonna keep y'all posted on that chef that got killed, man.
He would have slapped him.
Yeah, there was no chance on that one.
Hey, can you imagine? Hey, man, this is what I cooked today. I don't really want that.
He would have said,
Hey,
"Say, homeboy."
Hey, this is what I cooked today.
This is dinner.
You can eat that.
This is dinner,
You
man.
want that cornbread?
Yeah. This is dinner, man. And then another thing, sad thing was this past week was by the time this comes out, it'll be a little old, but sorry, I'm still talking about it. It was sad to see LeBron James's kid, man. He had a cardiac arrest, man.
dude.
That was a shame, and that's sad.
I have questions about that though.
So Tori, that singer Tori, fell out. blood clots in her blood everywhere.
Oh shit!
So then you have LeBron James, and of course you hear about those two because they are
Big,
very famous. Big, yeah. But they say across the board, and Elon has even spoken out about this. Why are young people and young athletes collapsing?
Falling
out,
right?
For sure. Like that was my question.
Is it the clot shot?
Because they go back to what's his name from the Bills.
Yeah,
that happened to him too.
No, but there's something. So I mean, is it? Why is that? I don't know.
No, I agree.
That's the question.
I wonder.
That's the question.
Or was it happening?
Maybe.
Was it happening before?
Any of our listeners or viewers chime in. Let us know what you think.
Are we?
Have you fallen out?
Yeah. Like,
I've been a little lightheaded.
I'm an old fart, and I still can go.
Because that's the thing. Sometimes things are when they don't get a red flag, they're going noticed. Or is everyone just flagging everyone now, and so they look like more? But it's crazy.
Oh, did you see that guy?
Every year you hear some high schooler somewhere, and I don't think it's something to be overly alarmed about. Some people say get rid of football. Some high schooler collapses and dies or something in a football practice. But when you think about, to me, I'm not trying to make light of that.
No.
But there's hundreds of thousands of kids playing across the United States, and a lot of these, somebody has a defect they didn't know about.
Sure.
So I don't know. That's why I said, does it sound like a big deal just because we're talking about a few or not?
Yeah. And then the other thing too, I don't know if you saw it. Then they don't know where this one came from. It was two guys. It was a soccer game. Two guys were talking. Two dudes were talking. And one of the, I don't know how old one of the guys was, a black gentleman, and he was talking. He just started getting woozy like that, and he just fell out. And then they kind of chalking it up to something like that again too. So can you pull that? Yeah, you probably can't pull that up, huh? But anyway, there were two reporters, and they were at a soccer. It was a big.
Oh, they were reporters.
Yeah, they were on the sideline. They were on live TV, and they were talking, and the other one just started leaning on it, and he just passed out, man.
He did the Mitch McConnell.
Dude, that was scary, right? That was creepy, man. He rebooted, man. Yeah. The reboot, man. He had they unplugged him and plugged him back in, dude.
No, when they asked Mitch McConnell about AI, Mr. McConnell, what do you think about AI? Do what? AI. That's what
he locked up.
He didn't even fucking know what AI was.
He got locked up, man.
One thing about Biden,
there it is.
it doesn't matter if he knows anything or not. He just keeps talking.
Dude, he keeps going, dude. He keeps
stroke.
But it was one of those things where it was just woozy out of nowhere, dude. And he just fucking lost it, man.
Damn,
it was sad, man. It was sad, man. But then the thing that one of the things that I totally forgot about this. They have those on. To whoever created this, man, the defibrillator, because of that defibrillator is what saved Bronny, that LeBron James kid, Bronny. That's what saved him, is that defibrillator. Had that not been there, he'd have been dead, because there's not the rate is really small.
The little box.
Yeah, it saved his ass, man. It saved him. But he's fine now. They showed him at the house. He's at the house. He's playing piano and shit, so he's fine. But it was a trip, man. It was a trip to see that. It's really sad, man. Like I said, especially so young, because he was at UCLA and he's practicing, getting ready for.
He's like 18, isn't he?
He's a kid, man. Yeah, and they said they could have, depending on what's going on, man, it could affect his.
So
career.
I was going to say, what does that mean? Yeah. What does that mean now? Right?
Could it endanger his career, man? They're gonna keep on him.
That's why his pops is playing as long as he is because he wants to play in the league with Bronny.
Yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan. To play 1 year together. Yeah.
And I honestly, I cannot stand LeBron James. As a player, but that's really serious and sad for his son.
Oh,
I wish the best for them.
Yeah, man.
That's my dream, is to stay in my business as long as I can, for my son to jump in the ring so we can run a match.
So you can do that clothesline, huh? Yeah. Give him that real clothesline.
The real clothesline.
Give it to him, man. Give it to him, man.
Gonna get it.
And then the big thing right now is, and I don't know how you guys feel about this, but for me, I don't know how to feel about it, because it took, for me, I take this one way. I'll get into it. It's what's his name? What's his name? Florida guy that's going to be running for president too. DeSantis.
Oh, DeSantis.
The sanctimonious. Yeah, he was caught the other day. Not caught, but he was on camera. He had a Coors Light, and he was talking. He was just having a casual conversation with people, and he was at a campaign thing, and it was just kind of winding down. And he just he wasn't drunk or anything. He was just standing there with the Coors Light, and he was talking to a guy, and he was just like. yeah, it's been this and that. And they're just kind of bullshooting the shit there. But then it got out. Not that it was, nothing news breaking, but people were just like, oh, it's unprofessional. He's a candidate with a beer in his hand, and he shouldn't be doing that. And people were saying, he's just, on my opinion, it's just me. It just makes him look like a guy. Like he's just a dude having a beer.
Real?
Obama tried that with his beer summit.
Yeah,
remember?
Yeah, in the backyard
of
yeah,
the White
yeah.
House. So I mean,
who was it that he was talking to? Oh, it was that security guy or somebody. It was like a cop or something. He was talking. Yeah, they had the beer summit. Yeah, I remember that. But and that was okay.
People forget though.
No,
People
I know,
forget
I
things.
know.
You're a real person. You drink beer. What's the
and,
big deal?
And everybody, it was funny. The comments were funny because people were like, "Was drinking a Coors Light, so he's not really drinking a. He's not really drinking a beer, man. He's just having a water, water hydrating." But yeah, I was just curious on that. For me, I think it's just
that's what I drink. That's good Colorado mountain water.
That's that good water.
But you know what? Doesn't that show you that? You look at those positions and you go, man, we just need a really good quality person to go run and do this. Who would want to do that?
Shit, no, dude.
I mean, really. I mean, when you throw your hat into that ring, for one, you have had to have a successful career and a good life. And if you look at your successful career in a good life, you go, man, why don't I just live my successful career in good life?
Yeah.
You throw your hat into that ring and you're crucified for holding a beer in your hand or
horrible
anything.
Yeah.
It just
they're gonna deep dive. They're gonna look for dirt.
Keith has nothing on how these people.
I got nothing, dude. I'm learning. I'm learning though. I'm learning now. It's a shame though, because like I said, I don't have a problem with. Like I said, I'm not a left or right guy. I'm just kind of down the center there. I kind of like Ice Cube, free thinker, but I don't see anything wrong with it. Like I said, when we had our conversation, we had a not a toot our own horn, but we're a little ass podcast, but we had a state senator here on our show, and he had a beer with us, and it's cool to see a guy put his guard down and not have to do that question where he's on the fence, like, well, I gotta please this side and I gotta please I want to just talk to you, man. Just let me know I want to know who you are with your guard down, man. I want to know what you have the right thing to say. I want you to give me the answer that you want to say.
Away,
yeah, man.
Come on.
That was cool. And like I said, to see him with that, like I said, I'm not saying I'm promoting them to be drunk and shit. No, I'm just saying he can be a dude and just have a beer and heck, he can have one and just be a guy.
Like,
just
get drunk. The truth comes out.
Yeah, dude, just relax, man. Just relax and be cool, man. Before we hit the head here, I wanted to get into something real quick. Just real quick was Stifler. Everybody knows Stifler. Sean William Scott, right? Is the name? Sean William Scott? Stifler. Didn't know this. And I was telling Angel before the show here, I was telling him that Stifler made the first American Pie, made $8,000. That's all he made, $8,000.
Are you serious?
And he had to go back to work at the zoo, where he worked at the zoo. That's what his full-time gig was. So he had to go back to the zoo because that's all he made was $8,000, man. So, and that's the thing. Is like I know they're on strike and shit like that, and I get it. And I said, but guys like that, they were trying to make it in the biz, and they didn't give a shit. They'll take whatever it was just to get that role, to get their foot in the door. And he made $8,000. He
I'm
didn't
trying to do.
Yeah, I'll take fucking $800. Put me in a movie, man. But he made $8,000 after that first one made it, and they knew they were going to franchise it, and it was going to turn into a thing. Then I think he ended up making like
he played it so well that he stereotyped himself. Is what he did.
He screwed up, man. Because now every role he does, even like with the rundown with the Rock, the rundown, he was that same character. He was the same character. Yeah, same character, man.
Maybe that's him.
It could be because he was.
But I hope surely they all make money off of the
however many you sell.
Continued
the
streaming
success.
But that's the problem right now. Is they're not making any money off the streaming, so that's the problem. That's where they're kind of butting heads with the system.
Him and that, what's his name? Jason
Biggs.
Bates?
Biggs?
Yeah, Biggs.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just did a commercial together.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like they have a commercial, and he's like, I think it's like some kind of like barbecue commercial or something.
Stifler's mom.
Yeah, where he was like, hey, man, like, how come you're throwing a party and you didn't invite me? And it was, what's his name? Stifler.
Stifler, yeah. He's got a unique possum-like quality to him, and I like it.
Hey,
but I like it. Dude.
I liked him in Road Trip.
No, I liked
he was
him.
good. Yeah, he was. He was great in Road Trip, dude.
Role Models.
I
liked him in Role Models.
Role Models was good too.
That's the scene. That's
the
scene.
Yeah,
the donation.
Yeah. But on that note, I guess we'll hit the head real quick, Angel.
Dude, sweet.
Clapper, man. That old lady, man, gets me every time. That old lady, Clapper. Yeah, nasty ass hands. She had gross ass hands. She was awesome though. We need to get one for in here. The clapper. I always say it. We got to get one. Huh? We need to get a clapper in here. Anyway.
Do they even still make those damn things?
Yeah, I think so. I think CBS has them. I think.
clapper?
I don't know.
I
Maybe.
really love that little as seen on TV section.
Oh, I love that shit.
Isn't it
dude.
cool?
Yeah, because oh, they do have it.
Wow.
Okay. We gotta.
Hey,
buy
but
it.
if you order it now, what else do they send?
What else we get?
$30.
You get anything else? Hell yeah, dude! I need to get that. Man.
That original is probably the best. Probably
Yeah.
doesn't work half of the time.
Remember the commercial?
The
Good
clapper.
shit. The clapper, yeah, dude. Clap. Nobody wants to clap.
No.
That's a pop. Oh, dude, we got to get that. Definitely have to get that.
We're all shopping right now.
All right. All right. Let's get this. Let's see if I can get this back into shape. I probably won't because where I'm going to go to next. It's not going to be any better.
Do we need the clapper to turn the lights off? Because it's
No,
dark.
no, not you're gonna. I'll keep the lights on for some of this because at the end of it, you're not gonna want the lights off. Anyway, it's another one. Last thing I'm gonna get into, man, before we close out, man. The back to school episode here. Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya, man. He let it all hang out, man, and not just in those photos, but there's more to it. He talked about
Is
the
he
whole
hurting?
No, he just wanted to kind of. I think what he's doing. He's I guess it's supposed to be therapeutic, and he's kind of clearing his, airing his grievances and kind of finishing, 12-step kind of shit, kind of apologies and whatnot, all that good shit. So that's what he's doing. So he made this documentary. It's two episode documentary.
Sounds like My Name Is Earl, man. You gotta go make it right with
Make it right
everybody.
with everybody,
Yeah.
And we're gonna get into those nice little shots there, but Golden Boy, it goes into his whole career and whatnot, and it's a documentary. He sits down and he talks about it, man. He gets into it and talks about how he started as a thing, and he said that whole thing that it was messed up, dude. Because I was into he said he got true, and he said that whole thing, the story about him making winning the gold for his mom, the gold medal. He made all that shit up. Like he was a made up story because him and his mom didn't have a really good relationship, and so he made that story up to make himself. To make it a story, to make it a powerful story, to the Olympic gold and all that shit that he won. Wow. So it was kind of a made up thing. He goes, but I'm just kind of telling everybody what's going on here. So, but yeah, East LA boy, he was told his whole story. East LA boy, he woke up every morning at the age of 10 years old. He woke up at 4 a.m. His dad would kick the door down, tell him, get your ass up, let's go run. They go run. He trained, and his mother died of cancer. And then, like I said, the whole story where he said that he went for her was just kind of I think it's just a kind of a story to have a backstory kind of thing. And they ran with it, and he goes, because I lied. He goes, I lied the whole time. I lied. I'm just a whole lie. He goes, it's just the front. I'm the golden boy, but it's all bullshit. He goes,
I was a huge De La Hoya fan on his way up.
Yeah,
loved to watch him fight. Some friends and I, and that's when boxing was big anyway.
Yeah.
We'd get the pay-per-view. We'd go over to each other's house, watch these fights. We never missed a De La Hoya fight. Yep. It was fun to watch him. He seemed like this golden boy. He seemed like the guy to root for.
Yep.
I liked him up until
when he lost.
When he lost, and it's not because he lost. He didn't know how to lose. His character didn't look good. He didn't know how to lose. As long as he was coming up and doing good, he had this good image. Mm-hmm. And some of the things, his personality, and he just didn't know how to lose.
You can blame that on Mayweather.
Yeah, he didn't know how to lose.
Mayweather, pretty much
jellied that brain a little.
Yeah, yeah. He chinked his armor.
Yeah. And he could have lost. I guess he could have been more. I don't know. I don't want to say that he wasn't gracious in losing, but it was just like those years after that, he turned into this different kind of cat. Yeah. I don't know. It's harder to like.
So the whole story was really good. It got into a real deep dive into him and his father having a terrible relationship, and his brother, in fact, his older brother was better than him, but the older brother was hot and cold with the boxing. Like he was like when his brother was into it, and then he was into it. And there was one story that he was saying his older brother was telling, because his older brother, his dad were talking on the documentary. They cut it to cut to them when they had something to say, and they talked to his older brother, and his older brother was like, "Yeah, man, that was good, man. Like I was gonna be the next great thing. I was gonna go win the gold medal and whatnot, but I got hot and cold. I didn't care about it." He goes, and I remember my uncle saying, keep going with it. Don't give up on it. Do the fighting. He goes, and they bought him a little motorcycle, like a little, I forget what it was called, a little motorcycle. They bought him, his uncle. He goes, I'm gonna buy you this, keep fighting, keep doing it. He's like, all right, And then one day he's like, he told his dad, I can't, this running, I can't do it. I'm just not cut out for it. This is Oscar's older brother. He said, I'm not cut out for this. I can't do this. So he's all right. The dad said, all right, fuck it, don't do it then. So he did that. And then he goes, I went to school. The next day, came back from school. That little bike was gone. So they took the bike away from him and everything. And Oscar said that he wasn't into the fighting. He just followed his older brother around and would watch him. And he wanted to be like his older brother. But Oscar said, he goes, I hated the fighting. He goes, because they'd be in the backyard. And he said the uncles and his dad, they'd be getting drunk and having parties and shit. They'd be drunk and they would, as soon as everybody started feeling good, the gloves would come out. Oscar was like 7 years old, and they put the kids together and say, hey, get in there. And the kids would be fighting, scrapping.
Like pit bulls.
Yeah, and they'd be fighting and they'd make them fight. And then Oscar said he got hit. He got beat up by a cousin pretty good. And he was scared. He didn't want to do it. And his dad told him, you got to lose that scared or you're going to be, a pussy your whole life. So you got to, get in there and get after it. So that was the gist of it. So Oscar said after that day happened, he goes, I didn't want to feel like that again. So he goes, I devoted myself into boxing, and from that day forth, I was never gonna be beat up or bullied again. So he got into it, man. He got deep into it, started winning shit, started winning fights. People started noticing him, and he liked that attention that he was getting. He's getting that attention, that positive attention that he wasn't getting. So he did that and made it to the thing, made it to the, of course, he won the Olympics.
That
he won the
switch,
gold.
dude. That switch is
Clicked on
real.
him. Yeah, he clicked it, man. He went to the Olympics, did that, came back, went professional. When he went professional, it was a lot of shitstorms, man. Like the management was like his dad, and he had an uncle that was in charge, and like the guy that was in his corner was just like just a friend of his dad's. It was just a guy from work or something. It wasn't a professional, not a real coach, man.
His cut man was like the dude at the corner store.
Yeah, the janitor and shit, So it was sad, man, to see that it wasn't. They didn't have it professional, but he made it to this level, and he got to the level, and then it was to the point where he started getting good and got made it. And then he was going to Vegas for a fight one day. This is when he started winning fights. He was fighting every month. And that's the thing. That's what these fighters, man. I don't think they do that anymore. I think when he went professional, he was fighting like every month. He was fighting and he was getting a lot of mileage on him. So he was getting strong and then so he made it. And at one point they had to get rid of one of the trainers and the management because the management was fucking him over. And they said it was one of the funny stories was they gave him $1 million deal. $1 million deal. He goes, I got $1 million deal. He goes, they were gonna give me $1 million deal and Mercedes Benz, and so he goes one day. He goes to the bank. He goes to the bank because when they would go on the road to fight in Vegas, he would stay in a shitty ass hotel. He's like, wait a minute, I've got $1 million in the bank. What's the problem here? Goes to the bank, tells the bank guy, he goes, hey man, how much money do I have in there? He's like, bank guy goes, well sir, looks like you have $12,000. That's about all you got. He's like, but I signed $1 million deal. He goes, that's all you got. Because the managers he had before were screwing them over.
Don King got all of
no,
them.
so that happened to him. So, and he goes in the Mercedes Benz I was supposed to get. He ended up getting, it was like a Nissan something, dude. And it was like used and shit. And it was it's a pile of shit, man. So he said, you know what, screw this. I'm gonna get new management. And he got new people. He got
so somebody got the Mercedes.
Somebody didn't. It wasn't him. God, what's that guy's name? It was Jesus. Where's that? It was a promoter. He got this new promoter. I forget his name. Was big promoter in the thing. So he got him going. Got him. Became a face. They got him a PR lady, and she got him into this magazine that made him like they turned him into a sex symbol. And chicks started going to all his fights. He started getting a huge following. He was getting big, man. He was getting bigger and bigger. And then finally, he got to the point where he was knocking people out. Let's see. Oh, goodness, where'd it go? He ended up fighting.
Where did you see this at?
This is on HBO Max. Yeah, HBO Max. He started fighting.
He probably has a deal with them.
Well, that's when boxing was big. It was HBO.
That's what we were talking about last night when we were watching the fights. There's like 4 promotions that. And HBO's not even in the game anymore.
Yeah, HBO. That's where it was at back then. It was HBO boxing.
Yeah, and now that was it's not even around anymore. It's Showtime, DAZN, and then Alvarez just signed with the new promotion. I think it's
boxing's different. Most people on the street now cannot tell you who the heavyweight is.
Oh shit, no.
Who the middleweight is. I mean, you just don't know. And you used to know those. Everyone used to know those.
You have to be in the boxing to know what's going on.
Yeah, it's not household anymore.
So yeah, he was making it big, man, and his goal in life, his dream was to fight Julio Cesar Chavez. That was his dream, and he finally got to fight him, and he was. His whole life and his whole career, he was always told that he wasn't Mexican enough and he wasn't this and that, he wasn't tough enough. He didn't have the Chavez grit to him. He didn't have it. That he was too, he was too light. He was too.
He was a pretty boy.
He was too light.
Is
in
he
ass.
Mexican?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know if he was Mexican or.
Yeah. So when he fought Chavez the first time, he said that he won. He was excited to fight him, but he goes, but I knew I had a chance to beat him because when they signed up for this fight, Chavez was partying in Vegas. He was having a good time. He goes, I was hyper focused on my training. I didn't fuck around. He goes, so I knew that I had a chance because he was not taking it seriously. Wasn't doing what he was supposed to training right. So they go in there, they fight. He beats him, and he beats Chavez, but nobody gave him the credit because he's like, he didn't really beat. Chavez goes, you didn't really beat me. I already had a cut here. So when you hit that cut, it just they stopped it because the bleeding wouldn't stop. So he had to. Because I just had a cut. He didn't really do no damn. Like when he was talking to the promoter afterwards, he was like, he didn't really hurt me.
Discrediting him is what they were doing.
He wouldn't hurt me. And then the shitty part, dude, they cut to his dad, and his dad goes, that first fight, I didn't really give it to Oscar either because he didn't really do any damage to Chavez. He goes, and had Chavez been the same age as him, Chavez would have laid him out. So he goes, it was like, dude, you're talking shit about your own son, man. It's like, this is your son, dude. You ain't even giving him credit for this shit. So that's where Oscar had this chip, man. So they fought. They went on. He went on to beat Chavez, right? And then after that, brown people didn't like him. He had a beef with that the whole time. That real Mexicans didn't care for him because they thought he was Tex-Mex. Like he was.
I thought he was Mexican, but I didn't know if it was not Mexico.
Yeah, they always ran his fights on Cinco de Mayo. Have you noticed?
May 5th and shit.
Yeah, May 5th.
But Chavez was. I mean, he was the Mexican hero.
Yeah, for sure.
And really, he could be. There's argument that he could have been the greatest of all time at that weight. I mean, he was 80-something and
oh yeah,
at some point.
Junior can't he has a son now that fights. He can't feel his dad's boots, bro. He can't feel his dad's boots.
And then so the second time, the first one was a TKO because that cut. Then the second time he goes, I'm going to prove everybody wrong. I'm going to beat his ass. So he goes, I went to town on him. I went out to town on Chavez. And then he didn't. That's the fight where Chavez didn't come out the ring at the corner. He stayed on his stool. He's like, I'm not coming out. Like he got his ass kicked. So he's like, and then he admitted, he beat the shit out of me. Like because he said he hit him with the gut shot that he goes, I couldn't recover. Chavez came out later, so I couldn't recover from that gut shot because it was just too much. Yeah. He goes, so
he had an agenda is what he had.
Yeah, so he couldn't get up, man. So, but it was. Oscar said that was. For me, that was a win because to see that champion not get out of that stool, he goes, that was good for me that I beat the hell out of that was my,
But did he make his dad proud?
No, not at all. Not at all. And then it goes into where he fights Felix Trinidad and he loses, and that's when he started dating. That's where shit started falling apart in that area because he started drinking a little more. Because he was
lines.
Yeah, he was trying to escape, and he goes because his whole life, his whole career, he was just focused on training. He goes, so I never got I'm making money now because I got the right promoters, I got the right management. He goes, I'm making millions of dollars, so I'm gonna start enjoying myself. So he started partying. And that's when he met his first chick, and he got married with Shayna Mogler, right? Is that her name? Shayna Mogler? Huh? Mogler?
She's a model?
She dated Travis Barker after Oscar.
Okay. Yeah.
Man, she was a good looking dame when she first came out, but then now, dude, it's a little off now. But so anyway, he hooked up with her. They got married. They had a kid, and this is where I said he started falling apart here, man. He met her after about 6 months. They got married. They had a kid, and they'd been together for like 6 months. And then two chicks come out and say, "Hey, I got a kid with him too." And they all did DNA tests. They're all his kids. So he had like 2 other kids on the side. Yeah. So the reason why he came out, this whole documentary, all this to be said was he wanted to come out because there was 3 kids that he had that he didn't pay any attention to, that he was a deadbeat dad to. Yeah, he paid for their lives, but he never was involved in their lives. So he wanted to make amends with them. So he's trying to be involved in their lives and shit. But for the most part, he was a pretty shit dad. He was a pretty shitty dad. And that's the thing. He said, I just want people to know that I'm not golden. Like I'm a piece of shit. I'm a real person. I'm not,
So there's nowhere in the documentary why he put on fishnet stockings.
Oh, okay. Well, so after all that shit happened,
I want to know why.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the beef
shit like
that's
that.
the beef shit. So so he was living his life, cutting up, just partying and shit. Going through this chick, that chick. He dumped her, the Shayna chick, Mogler. I say, Mogler. got rid of her. The way he broke up with her is cold blooded, man. He was
hit her?
No. She wished he would have hit her. It'd been easier. It was tougher, man. What they told him when he was with her, because she was white. She's white, right? She's white, Caucasian. He was with her. His management gets with him. He's got a new manager. And he tells him, "Hey, man, this ain't cutting it, man. This is like you want to get into the good graces of the Hispanic culture and the people. Got to dump her, and you got to get a real Hispanic girl." So he did. So he got introduced to this gal, a Puerto Rican singer, and he met her. I forget what her name is, but he met her. They hooked up.
Those are called fixed marriages.
Yeah, he hooked up with her. That Shayna girl was at home watching the Oscars or some shit. The MTV, some kind of award show. She's on TV. She's watching in the bedroom, watching it on TV. And here goes Oscar down the red carpet with that new chick, and that's how she found out he had a new chick.
Oh,
that's how then she called him after it was all said, and he goes, "Hey, you know what? I got bored with you, so I got new, so I didn't really give a shit about you." So they were in a limo together, and he said, "You know what? Hit the road, he got out of the limo and he split, dude. He took off." But ever since then, he was just doing his own thing, partying, getting loose and shit. And then he stayed with that chick, the Puerto Rican thing. He stayed with her for the remainder of his marriage, right? I think so. Anyway, but while he was with her, he was cutting loose, doing his thing, and then he went on. He would go on benders, and he would leave for like months, and he was gone for a month, and he went to New York, met this Russian stripper, and that's where the photos came from. The photos with the Russian. They were in a hotel room. He liked to do. They were doing like X. And they were, of course, drinking, getting high, but ecstasy, all this kind of shit. They were doing all this stuff, and he goes, I was so fucked up, blacked out. He goes, there was another girl in the room. She was the one that was taking pictures, but I didn't know what was. I was just having a good time. So when it originally came out,
big Russians have they're big enough to they actually had some clothes that fit him.
Yeah. She said that girl said, I don't know what her name was, but she said that she would when she would go, she'd go buy him clothes that he liked or little outfits that he liked, because he liked to be, when he was having a good time and drinking and cut loose with her.
He liked mini skirts.
He liked to feel feminine, his feminine side, and he liked to dance.
No, wait, stop. This wasn't a one-off deal.
No. They had an ongoing, because she was a side chick, so he was still married with the Puerto Rican girl.
So this wasn't the strippers' leftover clothes. They went out and shopped for clothing for him.
Cat
he would tell her,
shit.
"Go buy me some shit."
She would buy him tutus that he would like.
Yeah, she went out and bought shit for him.
Crawl around on the floor
and do his thing. Yeah, do his thing, man. He was into it. Like
I'm gonna say this. What?
Yeah. So when the accusations came out, he goes, I forgot where I was at. I forget where he was at.
His dad was pissed the whole goddamn time.
Well, yeah, that's what his dad went into it. So when he fought Trinidad, when he lost to Trinidad and he lost to Mayweather, his dad goes, well, if he wasn't having his little parties and his little things, he wouldn't have lost focus on his fighting. He goes, but because he was doing he was trying to call him, he's trying to call him gay, but his dad doesn't. They don't see.
Hey, that didn't play in his dad's
No, man. Yeah. Hell no, dude.
Hey, Mayweather broke him.
Yeah,
flat out. Like, dude, Mayweather broke that.
The cool thing is that I didn't know this, and I had no clue because I just, I wasn't I wasn't into boxing that heavy. But Oscar, his Golden Boy promotions, that was his first promotion, was him and Mayweather. That was his first promotion. That's the first one he started with. Golden Boy, that was his first promotion, and then after that fight, he went on to promote the next 10 fights for Mayweather. And then after that, Money Mayweather made his own promotion.
Does Golden Boy Productions
still
exist?
It still does.
It does, but they suck.
Yeah, that's what that was. Yeah, it's not good. But I think the backlash when that story initially happened, the lingerie shit broke out. He goes, I got this call from my from the PR people, and they're like, hey man, these photos are coming out. He goes, okay, so what do we got to do to make it go away? And they said they want $1 million and they'll go away. All right, here's the $1 million. The very next day,
you want to pull them up again?
The photos are out. They paid that $1 million for
that
nothing.
$1 million ain't shit.
They still came out, and so they was out there. And then so what they did is they got to the Russian gal, and he told the Russian girl, "Hey, you got to help me out here, Megan. You got to help me out." She goes, "Okay." So she came out and made a statement. She goes, "Hey, those photos you saw, they're photoshopped. They're not real. That's not him." And
first,
an expert
came out and said, "Oh, those aren't real. We can tell right here where they're photos."
Yeah, but And he went along at the time. He was along with. He's like, yeah,
I'll
they're
pay
Photoshop.
that dude
Yeah,
$1
they're,
million.
yeah, he goes, yeah, they're Photoshop. But when they cut to him now,
How old is he?
oh yeah. So when they cut to him after they talked about that part, but then when they cut to him now, he's like, I'll admit it's real. He goes, the 50. He
So
goes,
he's 50 years
yeah.
old.
So he
Man,
goes,
wow.
they're real because I'm trying to let all this shit out, but the photos were real. I did that. He goes, and I was having a good time. He goes, that was my point in my life. I wanted to have fun.
He sounds like the perfect example of a case of you lose your mind when you get rich.
Yeah.
Got that going on.
I mean,
It does. Like,
I
he
mean,
just,
because as a boxer,
Yeah.
different than an actor or someone who got famous overnight, you lived your whole life so disciplined at your craft to be good at it.
yeah.
And you're so disciplined and all this training and all this stuff. And then you made all this money and you lost your mind.
Yeah. He's gone, dude. He lost his shit. Dude.
Just lost your mind.
Like, nobody respects him in the game anymore, though.
It's a
That's
sad
the bad thing about it is because
you just completely,
yeah.
you just start, you call it drift, right?
Mhm.
You just start drifting farther away from what got you there.
Yeah, you lose what got you there. Yeah.
like, I'm a big boxing fan. Pops, when he was younger, he did boxing and stuff like that, and I wanted to box also. So that's like you said, you want to follow in your dad's footsteps,
sure.
right? That's like
Oh, wow.
Caden. He wants to follow in my
That
footsteps.
hat.
But, dude, like, I
Distract-
still
yeah.
follow boxing to this day. Like I told you last night, we went to go watch the matches, and and this dude's a joke now, dude.
That's a shame, dude. And I didn't
He's
know.
a flat joke, dude.
And I didn't know that because I don't follow anymore, so I didn't know where he stood in that world. I didn't know where he stood, but apparently not.
But you
not
know,
in a good
And
way.
like
You know,
Johnny was
Vinny-
saying, dude, he's not gonna. His legacy is trash now.
Well, Vinny,
That's a shame.
So many guys. It's not that you lose. It's how you bounce back from it, and he never bounced back
He
from
didn't.
from the loss. Right?
didn't.
No.
He was a superstar as this guy that was coming up, and then once the losses came,
Mhm.
and man, everybody just kind of went
Like, he was
"Ugh."
supposed to represent, like, our culture, right?
Well, our age,
Yeah,
our generation. He was the new guy coming up.
Yeah, and like he was the Mexican fighter. He was supposed to represent us, and he did all this
because
dude.
really,
like
he
why?
was supposed because Chavez.
Mhm.
He beat Chavez at the end of Chavez's career.
Yeah.
Chavez was so good, but everyone knew he was
He's on the way.
he
out.
was
on the-
going
yeah.
away, and so
Yeah.
here we have this new hero to take his spot, right?
Yeah,
But hero wore fishnets.
yeah,
Yeah, well,
and
yeah.
that's the thing is like all this shit happened. Like you said, he just lost his fucking mind after a loss.
So after the Mayweather thing, he also went to so after the Mayweather thing, he said he was just on a downward spiral, drinking heavily. He goes, and then he took on the Pacquiao fight, and he goes during the whole time he trained for Pacquiao, he goes, I was drunk the whole training. He goes, I didn't take this shit seriously. He goes, my mind wasn't there. I didn't give a shit anymore. I was just trying to make payday.
Yeah,
So he did the Pacquiao thing, and then he was Pacquiao was pummeling him. I mean, he was just killing him, getting him any kind of way he wanted to, man. And his brother said that he could see him because I guess the brother was in the corner, working the corner, and he's like, dude, I could see that he was nothing was there. Like his eyes weren't there. He wasn't there. Like he was just going through the motions just to be there. And the brother was like, dude, I'm gonna throw in the towel if you don't, throw some hits because he wasn't throwing shit, man. He was just taking punishment. And he was like, he goes, don't throw the towel. Like let me do this. And then they were talking to De La Hoya. He's like, dude, in that moment, I was numb. I didn't give a shit about anything. He goes, I was hoping that he would hit me with a punch that would kill me. He goes, because I didn't want to do this shit anymore. So it's just like he was like at a loss, man. He was just like, I was done with it. I wanted to be killed. So he goes, that's right. I kind of wasn't throwing anything. I was hoping he'd catch me with the perfect one that would take me out. He goes, but he didn't. So I went to the last time I went to the sit down at the store. He goes, I said, that's it. He goes, I didn't get back up. He goes, I just called it. I told him to call it. And he
dude,
didn't get
boxing is something else, dude.
back. Yeah, he called it, man. So
Like boxing, it goes back like like there's history behind boxing. The mob was tied into it. People were like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, it's fixed. No, dude, it's like it's gritty, bro. Like you come up from nothing and you have to prove yourself to get to a certain level.
no,
and like you said, he just like, I just want it to be over.
yeah, he didn't care anymore. He gave up, dude. His passion was gone, dude. He didn't give a shit anymore, and just everything kind of piled up on him with the his kids and his family. Nobody he wasn't involved with his family. So
Like Sonny would say, man, it's wasted talent.
wasted talent, man. That's the worst thing you could do, man. Wasted talent.
But you go back, like we were talking about it last night, and when when Tyson fought what's his name? Dude was like totally gang related. He was I can't remember his name. I said his name last night. But it spilled out into the streets. It was what was his name? But yeah, dude, Tyson lumped him up.
Yeah.
You know, he went to go look for Tyson, and Tyson's like, dude, we're not in the ring.
Yeah.
It's a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
Different deal.
Yeah, dude, and he just socked him up. And after that dude lost his credibility.
Yeah.
Like,
Can't do that shit, man.
you know,
I'm trying to think who that was. I can't remember.
I'm trying to think of his name.
You know,
too.
But
the one thing on this, and I know you've watched a lot of sports documentaries, and when I hear this story, there's certain parts of this story that you hear over and over in sports documentaries, and it goes one or two ways. There's always that dad to one of these athletes that makes it.
Yeah.
There's always that dad that was waking them up at 4 a.m,
oh shit, yeah.
that was getting them out there to run, that was taking them away from hanging out with their friends, and you're going to go catch this ball 100 times. You're going to go do this. You're going to go to batting practice, or you're going to go over here and do this. And it seems like how that dad is portrayed is how that kid lived his life. When is one of these stars who's had a great career, in those documentaries, he goes, man, I want to thank my dad. You know, my dad got me up at 4 a.m. My dad was right there pushing me. My dad took me to past my comfort level. And then when you have one of these guys that crash and burns, he goes, yeah, my dad was doing this piece of shit, didn't raise us right, had me out there. It's the same dad. It's the same dad
They
story.
got you there.
It's the same
like
dad
I think
story.
of the Manning brothers. There's two of them.
Yeah. And they praise their dad, right?
Yeah, dude.
And so that's the
Archie,
same
yeah.
dad as this dad right here. That's the same dad. It's just, so the kid lives a shitty life, and he goes, it's because of my dad.
It's his
Man.
dad's fault. It's his dad's fault, man.
So,
No, because he was saying, because like I said, the dad, he was, because they would, again, you're right. He was trying to put it on the follow the piece of shit. You know, that's why I'm a piece of shit kind of thing. Because he was saying that his dad, like when the mom died, the dad was like, all right, well, it was like the next day. He's like, well, okay, well, she's dead now. So like, we got to keep you focused on the fighting thing. Like, we got to move on. Like, you can't sit here and cry about it. We got to move on.
But his dad wasn't a boxer though, was he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
he was.
His dad and his grandpa fought. The first fight that Oscar had was, I forget what the name of the arena was in LA, in East LA. The first fight, his first professional fight, was the same arena where his dad and his grandpa fought at. So it was a big passing of the torch for him.
I don't know.
Yeah,
like
that's
this,
cool.
it kind of hits close to home for me because, like I said, like my son sees me, and we know what I do, and it's just like, okay, I wanna do what you do.
Sure.
But do you want to do what I do?
Takes a lot of
That's the
work.
question:
Yeah.
is do you want to do what I do? And say he does go past, what I did, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like you get to a higher caliber than I did. And that's what I look for.
yeah, that's the best thing a dad wants is, anytime your kids get better at you at something, you're like,
That's the
Yeah,
that's,
dude.
that's
If
the
you
plan,
if you
man.
make it to the pinnacle, then I'll be right there at the front row. You know what I mean? Like clapping my hands.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I promise you, he's not gonna say like, oh, my dad wasn't there. No, dude. Like, do whatever you want to do.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna push you. If you want to do this is up to you. I'm not gonna tell you need to do it. You need to do this. This is us. Da 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 da. No, dude. Because then that's when you lose focus and interest
yeah.
in the sport.
Well, I mean, I know I've pushed hard. I've been an asshole dad. Pushing hard on stuff like that. I just, but for a good reason,
Sure.
for a good goal.
Yeah,
And I've heard
Let's just-
I've heard my kids say now. He's told me before, man, I'm glad you pushed me to do this. But it's just funny to hear those stories because I think.
Wait on that documentary, dude.
Better
wait. Better wait on the documentary
I
first.
know,
Wait,
because
hang in there.
sometimes it depends on how his life
Yeah,
turns
yeah.
out. If it turns out bad, you can blame
If
me
he's
for
good,
it.
then
Yeah.
don't worry
Oh,
about it.
we have tons of photos of
Yeah.
Peyton when
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
like this big, and this big doing the thing that we do.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
But
Yeah,
it's
sure.
funny that that's the only difference. That's the variable, right? Is the kid a big success,
If he fucks
or
up,
is he kind of had these bumps in life?
Yeah.
Throw it back on old dad, man.
that's the what you call it, the scapegoat, man.
But you know
That's
what?
Pops.
Dads take it.
Oh yeah, you just keep on moving. You take that lump and you keep moving, man. You can't do shit about it, man. The one other thing before I stop, I don't, because I already probably fucking ruined most of the show, whatever, the documentary. But I like doing that to ruin the documentary.
I feel like we have. After he gets finished, I feel like we've seen him, man.
Yeah.
He's like good. He brings out the details.
Hey, that's it. One last thing that was interesting story, interesting part of it, all of it was, and it, let's see, how can we go about this way? Women nowadays wouldn't go for this because Oscar said when his dad, the dad was talking, he said, when I met Oscar's mom, she was a talented singer. She was on her way to, she was in bands. She was going to make it. She was on her way. She came over from, Mexico with nothing. And that was her dream to be a singer and be in the movies and whatnot. And she did actually have talent. She was a good singer. Like I said, they showed pictures of her in bands and whatnot. And so when the dad met her, he goes, I met her and I told her, I like you. Let's get married. But if you get married, you got to drop your career because we're going to get married. You're going to have kids.
We need sandwiches.
Yeah. And she said, all right. Now she goes and she threw away everything she had, man. She threw it all away for it to do that. And it was just crazy to see that, man. Because to see some, I get it. It's just that
shit
culture
ain't happening nowadays.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like, and that's what I'm saying. It's like it was interesting to see that the culture was just like, even not just Hispanic culture. That's just culture back then. Just like, hey, that's it. You're gonna do this. You got your shit's over with.
I don't know, man. Me being brown, like it's different, dude. Hispanic culture is like really different. Going back to boxing, dude, like we were talking about it last night. There was some fights last night.
Sure.
UFC, big boxing matches, and one of my buddies, he's 19, and he's boxing. And I told him, I was like, dude, I'm there for you. Like I grew up in boxing, even though I do professional wrestling, I wanted to box. So why wouldn't I be, in his corner? You know what I mean? Like he's a good kid, as long as you start training, you do your thing. And there's different cultures have different styles of boxing, dude. Whether it be Russian, those dudes have a whole nother style of boxing. I've heard commentators, Roy Jones Jr., when he commentates, he tells you, man, he fights like a Mexican. He fights like a Mexican.
Yeah.
And I've heard it, and I'm like, what do you mean? Like, but your De La Hoyas, your Alvarez's, there's a certain style of boxing.
That's what they touched on when he fought Chavez. The trainer he had at the time was telling him, "Hey, Chavez is old school. He's gonna be a brawler. There's nothing. You're finesse. You float. This guy's gonna be a brawler. So you're not ready for this shit. You're not ready for this guy yet.
He's just gonna keep walking straight towards you.
Yeah, he's not gonna stop.
Dude.
He's like a zombie. He's not gonna stop. He's gonna keep coming at you. So
And we're watching the matches last night, and it's just like, dude, like you're right. You're totally correct, and like it's just. I love the sport, and it's ingrained in me. I'm going to back this kid up 110%, kind of like, transitioning to Jay Davis. I backed that kid 110%. I brought him into the wrestling business. My son, it's sports, man.
Boxing needs
hero.
needs a hero. Yeah, it needs a hero.
Yep.
It needs somebody to get famous. And
there's nothing there.
Mayweather is the biggest boxing hero, but people don't like him. He doesn't. He's not. His personality is not likable.
Money Mayweather.
The way he carries his money around in a backpack, it's cool for him, but turns off a lot of people.
Yeah, it's not,
so,
for me, it's not palatable for me. I don't like him.
People want a hero. I think that's the only thing that's going to save boxing is to get maybe a good hero or maybe a good villain. I don't know, but they need a good hero.
We have Alvarez right now, and he's 30. If I'm not mistaken, he's in his 30s. But like when we were growing up, it was heavyweights.
Mm-hmm.
Like heavyweights were the thing. Now it's middleweight.
Yeah.
You have your Pacquiao's, you have your your Alvarez's. I'm looking at the Mexican monster Benavidez. Yeah. Like I think he's gonna be the person that's gonna take Alvarez.
We had Tyson. Tyson was had his own video game.
Yeah,
really think about it.
Yeah.
There's no boxer now that's going to have a video game.
No, not at all.
Nope.
Not at all.
It's
just want that once in a lifetime kind of person.
But I'll tell you about these documentaries, though, man. Keith can come in here with a deep dive. during the week, I'm telling people, hey, man, did you know there's a documentary out about this? And I'll tell them all about it. And they go, man, that's cool. You know, hey, Johnny was telling you about this. He watched this documentary. And I'm going, no, I didn't actually watch it, man. I know all about it.
You know all about it because I told you all about it. Yeah.
Talking about, okay,
I don't have to watch it, man.
No,
I'm getting like the audiobook version of it.
this is the back to school, the back to school episode, right? When you were in PE, and it was raining outside, what did you do when you were in PE?
They roll that projector in there.
And watch what? I watched NFL films from, you know what I mean, documentaries.
They didn't give us anything that cool to watch.
They gave us productive organs or something.
No. We were watching. Well, my PE coach he was like, we were watching NFL films.
No, we didn't do that.
Documentaries.
I'll tell you what. One teacher messed up one time. I remember they put the Wraith in. You remember?
That's a good one. That's a good teacher. That's a good teacher.
It has got a little racy scene in it.
Oh,
you know, and I'm not talking about race cars.
No. There's a little skin action there.
Yeah, and we were in the 7th grade or 7th or 8th grade. Like, whoa, man. Yeah, I remember the Wraith came on, and I think the teacher at the time, he was the teacher that would do that. You know, and I think at that point when that scene came on, he never cut it off. He's just like, well, it's on.
Cover your eyes, cover your face. Yeah. That's what they told me. That's when I was a kid. My grandma would say, "Put the pillow over your face, that we don't look at the dirty parts." Close your eyes. And then, you're like that. But anyway, the other thing too. Oh, so when you said that when it rains outside, we got to play dodgeball inside. That's what we did. Dodgeball. We played inside dodgeball. Nobody does that no more, dude.
No, because no one wants to get hit
that
with
rubber
that red
ball. That was a shit.
You don't want to hit
I
that
used to love
skin kid with the dodgeball. It makes that metallic ping noise when you hit him.
And back then,
smell.
And back then you could hit all the kids. So even the special guy, you could hit him too, dude. Everybody was always
come out here. You're fair game.
Hey,
you step
you're
out
gonna
here
walk out here. I'm gonna hit you in the head, man. One last thing before. One last thing, man. Before I've done with my ranting and fucking bullshitting. Scientists, they brought back a 64,000-year-old worm. Scientists brought him back to life.
Know, man.
So that means we got
that worm will probably rule the world.
I hope so, dude.
Come out,
but that means I got. Yeah, I mean that means I have a chance to live forever, dude. Because that's the plan, dude. So
how long do you want to be down before they bring you back? Like a day or
not
two?
Not long, dude. I can't be down too long. I don't want to miss too much, dude. I got FOMO, dude. I don't want to miss too much. You know, I might miss out on something good. I might miss on a good documentary or deep dive.
64 million years or something is way too long to keep you.
Oh yeah,
on ice.
64,000 years,
64,000.
dude. Man, that's crazy, dude. That they brought the worm back, man. But they're saying they have that technology, man. So we'll see what happens with us if they can.
It's alien technology.
I'm looking forward to that.
Hey, isn't it funny? The alien came out this week and the damn worm came back.
The worm came back this week.
That worm. Nobody talked about that worm.
Earthworm Jim.
He's back, dude. He's back. That worm's back, man. Yeah, man. Back to school episode, man. This is good times, man. Like I said, look forward to them photos that we're gonna put out, dude. We're gonna try to get Johnny in that backpack too, but we'll see if he'll do it or not. Vinny, you got anything, Vinny? I know you had something to talk about, man. Speaking of backpacks.
Yeah, speaking of backpacks, I'm doing a show August 12th down at Martin Luther King Park in Conroe, Texas. Saturday. Show starts at 5 p.m. We're doing it for backpacks. It's called Backpacks and Bells, Back to School Mania. Bring school supplies, anything you can to help the kids go back to school. And see Zuko, I might be from Badsville, but I'm still a good guy. I'm your favorite bad guy. Other than that, man, that's all I got going on right now.
What's that population there in Badsville?
Oh man, hey,
1, 2, couple?
There's a couple of us.
A couple? Okay,
there's a couple of us.
Right. Well, I want to stop by. I want to visit
the mayor of that place.
I want to visit. I want to be the comptroller there. I want to see if I can be the run the money there and see what I can do with the treasurer or something. One last thing, dude. He's back, dude. Kanye's back on Twitter, man. So, X.
Shoulder pads or no shoulder pads?
I think I'm sure he's gonna go shoulder pads.
Face mask or no face mask?
I don't know. I'm looking forward to that. I'll see what he's gonna put. I'm sure, like I said, he'll be off there in 2 seconds. Man. He's gonna say something wrong and he'll be off there in 5 minutes, man. But yeah, Kanye, after being gone for 8 months off of Twitter, he's back on Twitter, man. So I'm looking forward to see the content he puts out. I'm excited. Elon Musk, I'm glad he's got it. He's shaking shit up, man. I love it. I love his style, and I hope they'll never cancel him. He's too rich to get canceled. But I look forward to see what the kind of shenanigans Kanye gets into this week. Keep an eye on Twitter or X, I guess. X.
So you don't tweet anymore? Do you tweet?
You still tweet?
You still tweet? Okay.
or Xing. I don't know.
We're gonna X somebody.
Exiting. I don't know. We'll see. Oh yeah, Des Bryant is the X. Yeah, throw up the X there. But no, it's cool. I'm glad Kanye's back, man, on the Twitters there. But we're good, Vinny. Good. Anything else, Johnny? Good.
Like I said,
all right, man.
Come check us
Johnny,
out, man, and support.
And we're gonna hold Johnny to hold his feet to the fire there because he's got the Starlink, so he's got.
Hey, no excuses.
No excuses, man. He can watch all these documentaries.
But I'm telling you, I've
Hey, we should
about all
flood
these
his phone with
documentaries
all
now.
these things that he needs to
Documentaries.
watch.
Hey, y'all gonna send me an overload. You're gonna send me an overload.
It's work to do, but then I guess after about 6 months, you'll be like, I'm over it, dude. You'll be watching the same
You
shit.
go back and watching Mama's Family.
Oh shit, hell yeah.
Whether you're new or old, Johnny has been waiting for Starlink for over a year since before we started this podcast.
Actually, I was thinking back. It has to be close to 3 years when I pre-ordered that. It has to be.
Good Lord, dude.
I know it was 2. Yeah.
Jesus, dude.
Yeah.
Golly. Yeah,
You know, it went so long. I just kind of
gave up.
I really just gave up. I at first I was checking my emails and looking for the updates, and I got the email the other day, and it said, "Man, you know, your Starlink is ready to ship." So I said, "Well, man, shit, now I have to pay the rest of it." So
I gotta pay the other half.
Let's get it. So here I am. It hooked up. Hey, and really, it's so easy to hook up. The little antenna is motorized. You plug this thing in, and it just finds the satellite and goes. You could actually take this thing with you.
Oh shit!
They make a backpack for it. You could take it out.
No.
Take it anywhere
Serious?
and set it up. That's why they were giving it to the Ukraine fighters over there to they could set up their internet anywhere out in the field. Yes.
Oh shit! Okay.
And so it's really cool. It's really cool. But you know, for people who have, it's only cool for me. It's only cool for people like me because if you live in a neighborhood that has high speed internet, it doesn't give you anything you already have. You already have that, and you have it better probably. So, but if you don't have an option for anyone out there in our millions of listeners that are looking for high-speed internet, check it out. Hey, go ahead and place a pre-order and see what happens.
And then hopefully we'll get a deal with Starlink maybe. And then, but this episode we call the Starlink episode.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we'll just be called X.
X, there you go. We'll call it X. We'll call it X.
The X
The
instead
X,
of the 52.
Yeah, that's it. Switch up the name, dude. Well, that's it, man. I think we were good, man. Vinny, August 12th, right?
August
12th.
Hey, I'll put a flyer out on Big
we'll
Bad
share
Zuko on Instagram. You know, like I said, come, dude. It's for the kids.
Yeah,
you know,
man.
backpacks, school supplies. You know, anything helps, man.
Yeah,
for real.
We'll put that on our social media too as well. We'll share that too. That you guys can help out if you want to, man. 52 trying to do good things, except besides spoiler alert, you know, documentaries. I want to help out the kids too. So that we try. So
We try to keep our good to bad balance kind of in check. Keep it in check.
Keep
Helps us out.
Keep us honest there. The 52, man. This is us, man. Stay tuned.
I was just in my office and I heard a ruckus.